Wayseer Show. We're your hosts, Shireen Thor and Garrett John Laporto. And today, we're going to talk about your most powerful resource that you have within you. And Garrett, I don't know, man. That's tough. That's big. What the heck? We got to kick that one off pretty good.
Yeah. So when you think of resources, you usually think of something like money or gold or whatever, and even human resources. But what is that resource? Like the monetary resource. There's something definitely more fundamental than that. Then there's time. Time is a resource, and whereas you could have all the money in the world and suddenly you could be just win the lottery or sell your company or something and have a ton of money, more money than you could ever spend in your lifetime. Time is limited. But we're not talking about time here. Time is not your greatest resource. Yeah. Time is a limited thing that you have, but there is something that you put in your time that's even more valuable and that you have even more control over. And that is your attention. And your attention is this amazing resource that can do miraculous things, but you need to know how to focus it, how to harness it, how to work it. And we're not talking about positive thinking here, and we're not talking about faith. We're talking about something even deeper than that. All of life on this planet is beaming with this essence. There's this life intelligence, this essence that makes things beautiful. The butterflies, the most evolved creatures, the elegance and grace of a human being who's well trained in the piano or dancing or anything of that sort. The inventor, what is this amazing life force that we all have at our disposal? Ultimately, it's directed by our attention. And that attention, when placed on anything, has this way of transubstantiating whatever we're putting our attention on into something more organized and more beautiful. So if you put your attention on anything, your attention is going to change whatever it is you're putting your attention on. Your attention is like this amazing, it is like the essence of life, and the essence of life is to take chaos and blah and turn it into something beautiful. Yeah. And so we have the opportunity every given moment to put our attention on anything that's broken, that needs healing, that's in disarray, and the mere placing our attention on it actually gives that thing and starts to infuse that thing or that situation with greater order, greater beauty, some sort of healing. And granted, when you put your attention on something, you may feel called to do something with it. Oh, this desk is a mess. Now that my attention's on it, I'm going to start organizing it. But there's something that's going on even more deeply, which is just by focusing on it, you see the disorder and then you see the opportunity for order, and you're inspired to bring that order to it. So that is what we're going to talk about, how to harness this amazing power we all have that flows through our attention to organize our lives, to make our lives beautiful, to make our lives rich and full of love and grace. There's an opportunity here, but most of us, almost all of us, succumb to the distractions and the exploitations of our attention. The media, big business, the government, social media. There's all of these things that suck your attention away and cause you to be feeding this other beast out there, some big company, some Facebook, whatever it is. Like, you're feeding a monster out in the world because it has learned to suck your attention like a leech, and we need to learn to take our attention back from these places and put it into our own lives, what we most cherish.
I definitely agree with that, and it's crazy. I'm so glad we're having this conversation at this very moment, because I've just been really on this one. Like, I've been thinking lately, like, how do I feel in my life, when I'm doing certain things, whether it's watching TV or looking at social media, and really realizing, like, oh, while this is really normal to do, while it's really normal to be looking at everyone's status updates and what they're all up to, I actually feel more disconnected from myself and disconnected from what I actually need on a soul level when I'm doing those things. And so I started to think, like, man, what does my soul really crave? Like, what do I really want? And I was like, I just want a fucking real ass conversation with like one of my amazing friends. And so I like scheduled this hangout with two of my great girlfriends. And we went, and then I was like so excited that we were gonna go like have this brunch in Venice, and I put on all this makeup, and then I had this like impulse to like Snapchat the event. Like I needed everyone to know that we were having so much fun, you know? And that and it was fine. And then I like did some thoughtful, inspired Snapchats on the way home. And then like a week passed, and I was like, what the fuck, man? That's not what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to go have this time with them so that I could report it to the world so that they could also know it was happening, because like it wouldn't have been enough on its own. Like, so anyway, I'm just a big geek, and I really like the Transcendentalist movement, like really into Henry David Thoreau and like Emerson and all of them. And they just fucking went out into the woods and they shut the fuck up, and they got everyone else to shut the fuck up. And they sat with themselves to really sort of examine their lives, their truth, their soul, their destiny. And I feel like that's actually what I crave. And a lot of, I'm assuming, Wayseers really crave, but it's tough because of everything you're saying. It's tough to really get there because of all the distractions. So Garrett, what the fuck? How do we handle that?
Well, you're right on the mark with Henry David Thoreau and Emerson, and the willingness to disconnect from all the things that suck your attention away. And even in their day, society has a way of sucking your attention. And when you're plugged into society, your attention is being directed by society's dictates or the communal dictates or groupthink. Even if you're just with a group of friends, you'll find that you're not exactly free. You're not completely free to be how you would be in your attention, right, because there's a sort of a group attention that's, pushing you around. So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is we, as human beings, Freud said that we have this repetition compulsion. And what that is if you've experienced anything in your life that was traumatic, really difficult, that you haven't healed yet, that you haven't really figured your way out of yet, you'll keep repeating it in different situations. It'll be the same heartbreak, the same pain, the same wound will come out, but you'll have these different situations that seem completely different people, different time, all of that, but it's the same hurt, and it's because there is a subconscious brokenness in all of us that we're trying to be distracted from. Right. So that is why we are vulnerable to society's dictates or social media or texting or any kind of distraction or any kind of addiction. Yeah. All of that is our unwillingness to go face those demons inside us.
Right.
And those demons actually are healed by attention.
Right.
So that's the funny thing, is we're running from the mess of our lives. Whether it's the messy desk you don't want to face, or the messy taxes you don't want to face, or the messy financials you don't want to face, or the messy issue in your relationship you don't want to face, or the deeper stuff, the messy stuff in our subconscious that hasn't been processed yet, the wounds, the hurts, those things that we keep repeating in our lives. Yeah. And when you remove yourself from all the distractions, such as Henry David Thoreau did, and goes and lives in the cabin, all of a sudden you are met with the stark, like you have to face the demons. Then you start processing the demons, and that's how you start processing your inner world. Yeah. And the beauty of that is, as you process your inner world, there's a healing.
Exactly.
And that healing makes you whole inside. It makes you a better person, makes you more able to have all the things you want in life, all the things you desire and long for, all the stuff that's like it's just out of reach. You can't get it. Why is it always just out of reach? Yeah. It's because there's something inside you that isn't letting you have it.
Right.
There's some inner wound or inner scar that just it's not letting you have that because it's not resolved yet.
Right.
And so.
Ooh, so so you put your attention on yourself, your inner world.
Yeah.
And then that creates healing.
Right.
And then you're able to harness more of what it is that you want in your life.
Yes.
Which would then explain why you are claiming that attention is your most powerful resource.
Right.
Aha.
Yeah. It really is. It's your most powerful resource. And the thing is, attention is not limited the way time is. There are different qualities of attention. So what'll often happen when you put your attention on something that's upsetting is, think about it like a light bulb on a dimmer switch, okay? You've got low-level light attention and high-level, high beam, like high-intensity attention. And that spectrum is almost like an emotional spectrum. So when you look at something with great love, that's the light all the way on.
Right.
And that's why you'll often hear, like, do what you love and the money will follow, or, you know, work with your passion. And, you know, the reason for that is because your attention is going to be really powerful when you're doing something you love, when you're doing something you're passionate about, when you're focused on something that brings you that love and passion. You've got the lights all the way on. That level of attention is going to be highly transformative. You're going to be in your genius, in your brilliance. There's going to be amazing, miraculous thoughts occurring to you in ways that you organize things that couldn't happen if that light was dimmer. So that's lights all the way on. But when you face your demons, when you face your inner wounds, what happens very quickly is you go, oh God, oh, not this again. Like, this is the thing that crushed you in the first place. Your dimmer switch goes way, 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 way down. And if it goes all the way down, that's like where you're like suicidal. That's where you're like, you know, there's so much pain here, I want to turn my light off. I want to stop my attention. You know, and many of the wounds that we have, the deep wounds that we have, brings us all the way down to the lowest, dimmest setting of our attention, and that's shame, that's guilt, that's fear. And when we're experiencing that state, those demons are powerful and they overpower us. And that's why we avoid it, because every time we've gone to that inner place, it's overwhelming, it's overpowering. We can't fight these demons. All we have is this little candle light that could be blown out so easily. Like, we are tremendously vulnerable against our biggest demons when our attention is really low. So that brings us to, how can you face these monsters when they're going to scare the fuck out of you and bring your attention down to next to nothing, which means you have nothing to fight them with. You have no light to fight them with.
What do we do?
What do we do?
Garrett, you got me like all perplexed here,
buddy. All right. So.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah. So, like you brought up with Emerson and Henry David Thoreau, like there one solution. This is a beginning solution. Go into nature. Now, why do you go into nature? Because nature is full of attention. It's just not the kind that we're used to thinking about. But all of life is this degrees of consciousness. There's whatever that life intelligence is that infuses the plant and has it, like why plants respond to music and attention themselves, is because they're actually these beings that are full of a kind of attention, and all of nature is full of this life intelligence, which in its essence is this high level of attention. And so if you go and you immerse yourself in nature, one thing if you're really quiet and you really open yourself to it, you'll realize that there is this life all around you that can buoy you, that like you're being loved by the trees and the plants and the, you know, all the life that's around you. It's like it is the essence of life is love. So life showers you in this love when you're alone in nature. There's a bubble of attention around you. There's that you know, so that's one piece of it, but there's even higher levels of attention at your disposal, this sort of transcendent love, and this is what many of the world religions are founded on, is some great avatar or mystic who goes, whoa, check this out, like we can actually channel attention from on high, from the stars, from the heavens, and when a human being does that, they go, I mean, you can be great in nature, but even beyond nature, there's this, where does nature get its attention from? Where is that ultimate source of attention? We have access to that, and when you access that, now you are accessing transcendent love, or this transcendent life intelligence directly.
Yeah.
And that can become your guiding light. So when you go to face your demons, you don't go alone.
Right.
You either surround yourself with the beauty of nature, if that's as far as you can believe. You know, it's like we all have to deal with what works for us. But if you want to go even further, you can learn to tune into this amazing light of attention that's available to all of us. And this transcendent love has been called many things. You know, it's been called the Holy Spirit. It's been called the Way. It's been called just love. It's like there's a million different words for it. But this essence that's available to you is the very healing essence that when you go and you face your demons, this is what you need to bring with you.
Yeah.
Because this is the torch. This is the thing that won't go dim as long as you stay with it while you face the deep wounds.
So like, what if someone does sort of struggle? Like, obviously the nature thing makes sense. I feel like, yeah, you know, I'm in tune with nature. But like, what if they struggle with accessing transcendent love? Like, how would they do it? How would they get there?
So it's tricky. And the way I got there was a long process. But what I feel like what we're trying to offer in Wayseer Academy and through the videos we produce is a hint of it, a touch of it. Like you feel it. When you feel that frisson, when you feel the goosebumps, some people experience catharsis, and that's that transcendent love. Like, you know, for a moment they're feeling it, and the transcendent love comes in, and that's why the catharsis starts happening, because it comes in and starts reorganizing you inside, and those wounds that you couldn't face, it starts like dissolving them, and you're you know,
totally
emoting, you know, it's coming out, and you're being healed by just that moment of just that touch of it. And so it doesn't matter how you get there. It does matter that you get there. And sometimes the best way to get there is to just find someone or something that evokes that experience with you, and keep tuning into that. And then there is different ways of interpreting what that is. And I feel like one thing that we can offer as a service through Wayseer Academy and through our podcast is an explanation of what that is, how it works, how to access it, how to...
I mean, I definitely like that, only because I feel like I definitely feel like I'm like this, where sometimes I just have like an inner cynic that like won't allow me to go there. So it's not that I don't believe that it's real, and it's not that I don't think I could go there. I could, but I won't. So it's almost like easier for me to like process transcendent love if I was watching the Wayseer Manifesto or one of the videos inside wayseers.org. Like, it is easier for me to like buy it. You know what I mean? Like, there's like the cynic in me doesn't like start going all heady and like criticizing the experience. It's like, and that's what I like about the media that you do, is that I know just from studying NLP and all kinds of like heady, crazy crap, is that media like bypasses your conscious mind completely and just goes straight into the unconscious mind, which is why movies are so powerful. We kind of like project ourselves onto the main character. We like have this experience, you know, and it's not, we're not sitting there thinking like, oh, this is stupid, I would never do that. It's like the conscious mind is gone and we're in our unconscious completely. So I really actually do value what you offer in Wayseer Academy, because I have my own struggles with like allowing myself to surrender or let go enough, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's suspension of disbelief is what you're talking about. And that's why a great movie is a movie that helps you suspend disbelief. It can be about the most wild, far out science fiction stuff, but as long as it's internally consistent, just like a dream would be, you can lose yourself in that. And it gets harder when you pull yourself out of the movie or the media experience, where now it's on you to suspend disbelief again. So the good training wheels are, you know, if there's a movie that causes you to have that catharsis, that transcendent love experience, use it as much as it'll work for you. And then you might graduate to, well, maybe it's just that song or that piece of music in the movie that I could tune into more easily than watching the movie.
Yeah.
And what I will do and I've gotten much better at it recently because I've been going through my own inner catharsis, is when I'm facing those demons, when I'm trying to heal those wounds, I listen to some of the music that brings me right to that transcendent love experience. And I'll do it outside. I'll do it in nature. It doesn't matter. Like, often I'll have my eyes closed. But when I'm doing it, I'm suspending disbelief. And in that suspension of disbelief, I'm inviting this holy light to rain down on me and to change my consciousness and to be with me. And I, don't want to sound crazy here, because like everyone's inner experience like has different symbols, but like you can call on your symbols, the things that you believe in that work for you, whether it's angels or Jesus or Holy Spirit or Buddha or some sort of avatar or light or whatever you want to call it, like calling on these imaginary friends, we'll say, and but they're not imaginary. They're just names for things that we don't understand, that we don't have a way to pin down.
Yeah.
So there's an essence to all of those that is real. And maybe your name is one thing for it and someone else calls it something else, and that's why religions battle each other, because they've got a different name for the same essence of love.
Yeah.
Who cares whether you call it God or Allah? It's the same essence of divine love. Exactly. And that's what, when you have a relationship with that essence, when you know its address. So if you were brought up Christian and I said, pray to Allah, you're going to be like, whoa.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're going to be like, what's that address? Like, it's going to trip you up. But if you have had experiences of divine love or just transcendent love, and you call it something, like you have a word, whether it's Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or, like, it doesn't matter what you call it. It just matters that you know the address. And when you can tune into that address and say, hey, I'm open to you now.
Yeah.
Like, love is calling you. This attention, this universal, transcendent attention is calling to you, reaching to you. When you go into nature, you can, if you really open yourself to it, you can feel all of nature leaning in to bless you. Like, there is this love that is reaching to you, calling to you, but your phone is off the hook. The doors are all closed and you feel alone, but it's because you're not picking up the phone. You're not opening your heart to receive that grace, that love, that attention that will fill you. Yeah. And when you are open to it, when you do become open to it, it is overwhelming. And that's where you start to experience this like cathartic overwhelm of like, to feel so loved, to feel so much love. It's right there for you. All we need to do is open to it. And when you open to it, that's when the healing begins. It changes your mind. It changes your life. It fills you with a kind of attention that then you can put on all the stuff that's broken in your world, in your life. Whether it's a relationship that needs to be healed, or it's the work that you're doing needs to be transformed, or you just need to clean up the freaking mess around you, like whatever it is. Like, you'll have the energy, the resolve, the attention to give that, because now you're filled with another kind of, you've tapped into a flow of attention, which is much more powerful, much more healing, and does amazing kinds of organization that you could never consciously fathom.
There you have it, people. Pick up the phone, all right?
Yeah, love is calling, pick up the phone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love is calling, pick up the phone. There's different levels of love. Start wherever you can, if you're not ready for a long distance phone call, start with a local call, and just realize that when your attention devolves into fear, into guilt, into shame, into the darker emotions, then your light is dimmed, and the attention that you're giving, whatever that is at the moment, is far, far less effective than if you could be coming with great love.
Yeah.
But you can't expect yourself to force that light switch up. It's just, you're scared. Something's wrong. Something hurts. Like, that's why you're going dim, because you're trying to shut off the pain. Like, when the light's all the way on, it's like, oh my God, it's, you know.
Yeah.
It feels like even more intense. So we start dimming down. We start shutting down our consciousness.
Yeah.
And the way to heal with that is to have a lifeline or a relationship with this transcendent love, this transcendent life intelligence that is right there. You know, pick up the phone. It's right there. It'll be with you. And when it's with you, it's still you.
Right.
But it's the part of you that isn't afraid. It's the part of you that is filled with great love. It is the part of you that is beyond wounding, that is unassailable.
Yeah.
And it is, it may even be the part of you that is everyone, that we're all connected to. Like, it's this greater self, this sort of, and that's what it has tremendous power. It has tremendous power to work miracles in your life, because it's going to, heal the wounds with you and make you stronger. It's going to fill you with this miraculous attention and intelligence that is beyond your ability to comprehend, so you will find yourself saying and doing things that you never knew would result in such amazing outcomes. But this greater life intelligence does know. It's a mind beyond our mind. It is fully your unconscious mind, which is at least 10, if not 100 or 1,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind.
Right.
That is at this other you's disposal. So if you don't want to think of this as like some divine being that you make a phone call to, you're just making a phone call to your unconscious mind. You're making a phone call to your whole. They say we only use like 5% of our brains. Well, you're making a call to that other 95% of you that is usually shut out of the game. Bring that to the game. Open that. All of a sudden, you're going to be way more intelligent. You're going to do things that you don't even understand, because consciously you're still stuck in that 5%, but your unconscious has access to the whole 100%, which means it can know things that you can't know. It can understand things that you can't understand, and it can do things in your life that are miraculous to our conscious mind, that go, whoa, how did I luck into that? How did I accidentally do that in such a perfect way? It's not an accident. It's this great love that's inside you.
Always taking us to church, Garrett. I mean, goodness. Good thing I have podcasting with you, because I pretty much need it every time. I'm always like, wow, I think I needed that. All right. Well, mic drop, dude. For those of you listening, I hope this touched your heart and soul in one way or another, because I'm not gonna lie, it did mine. Like, I feel more calm and relaxed now at the end of the podcast than I did at the beginning. And definitely join us at wayseers.org. I mean, it's a great place to access what it is that we're talking about. And I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Great. Till next time. God bless.
Hey, if you like this show, become part of the movement. There's a whole new world waiting for you at wayseers.org. Join our live hangouts, get exclusive access to our Frisian Lab, our mind-blowing recordings and videos, our books, our psychoactive sound programs, our in-depth materials, and our Wayseer life hacks. All are geared to help you come alive, turn on to your greater power, tune into your higher intelligence, and answer your highest calling. This makes life amazing. You could even be a guest on our show, help create our next video, get executive producer credit, or arrange a meeting with me personally. Join the party at wayseers.org, WAYSEERS.org.